this video, we will look at how to include other pay codes for overtime consideration on the Payroll Adjustment Worksheet. The Payroll Adjustment Worksheet exists to help calculate overtime on time cards. This worksheet uses the following pieces of information in its calculation: the shop floor activity and its related pay code, the shift pattern, the amount of hours worked, and finally the shop floor payroll rules. Let's first have a quick look at the time cards that we will be using in this demonstration. We can see there are two time cards here for example worker 1. I do wish to mention that there are no other posted time cards that will come into play here. We are only working with these two time cards. So let's have a quick look at the first time card. So I wish to bring attention here to the bottom of the time card where we have the time card lines. The employee did the majority of his work of his day was spent working on production order operations. As we can see, the first order here had just under 4 hours of work, and the second production order operation had exactly 4 hours. The last time card line here is for a safety meeting. So that is the context we're working with. The employee was required to assist or participate in a safety meeting at the end of this day and also of the next one. So the second time card shows something very similar. We've got production order operation work, and the last time card line here is for a safety meeting here. And we see the time in this case is just from 5 to 7:15 here in this case. So just under 2.5 hours. Now, I will mention that the shift pattern is what defines the expected hours of the employee and also the maximum allowed hours for overtime and double overtime. So in this case, we see there are 8 hours of expected time on the shift, and there's a maximum of 2 hours of overtime and 2 hours of double overtime. So now we know that there should normally be some sort of overtime here added. So now let's navigate to the shop floor payroll adjustment worksheet and try and see if we can do that. All right, so I will click on the Get Daily Adjustments here, and this will bring me some entries that would be added onto the time cards should I decide to carry them out. So nothing is appearing here. Why is that? Let's now have another quick look at the time cards. I wish to display the fact box here, and I'm going to come down to the pay code totals. So we see there's a total of just under 1 hour of unpaid, 8 hours of regular, and there's 1 hour of other. The second time card is a little different in that it has 2.5 hours of other, and the rest is very, very similar. Earlier I said that the shop floor payroll worksheet uses different pieces of information to calculate how much time the time card should have of overtime or double overtime. Let's now have a look at the shop floor payroll rule configuration page. So we're going to navigate to the payroll rule. So this is again the shop floor payroll rule configuration page. So this is what is used by the system to help determine what is considered for overtime calculation or not. So we see the daily adjustment pay code filter has an entry of REG. We don't have an entry for other, so I'm going to add the pay code of other here to be considered as well. I'm going to do the same on the weekly adjustment here. So just enter the pipe with the other, and I will now go to the worksheet for payroll. I will now click on the Get Daily Adjustments. And there we are. We see 3 proposed changes. The first one is for the first time card for worked on the 14th. And that is because we had just under an hour of overtime. You can see the deduction of production order work and the addition of the overtime. Whereas the second 2 lines here for the second day, because we actually have more than 2 hours of overtime. So that's all that was missing. We needed to add the other pay code for consideration here. So at this point here, I'm ready to carry out the adjustments, and this would modify those 2 time cards as specified. This concludes the video.
Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great content.